I'm going to be working on this image to show you how I highlight and add shadow to an image. Now I start off by duplicating the layer, double clicking and I'll just name it image 1. Then I go to duplicate layer again, double click on that to rename it and put image 2. I do this so it's easier to if you're doing multiple layers, it's easier to figure out, like if this is image 1, image 2, image 3, or eyes, nose, name it whatever you want. But then what I do is I turn off by this little eye here. You click on the little eye, it turns off the top image. So then I click on image 1, as we named it. I go up to image adjustments, and I go to curves. When I go on curves, what I want to do is brighten, add a lot of light to the image. And as you can see, it gets brighter. And press OK. Now once that's done, I press on the top image, second image, image number 2, I turn it back on. Now if you click on and off, you can see that there's a big difference in the light. Once I've got image 2, I then add, you all know by now that I call that the washing machine. It's not, but it's just what I call it. And I go to my brush. Now, as you can see, click the little arrow and change it from black to white. Now, if you click the black, when it's on black and you paint on your image, if I put it up to full capacity, you can see that it takes out, put it on white, and it puts it back in. We'll just make sure that there's no paint over all of it. Now, if I'm doing an image that's going to be dark at the back and light at the front, and I want the light to look like it's coming from the right or the left, whichever, at this point she's actually got light coming from the right hand side. So I'll make sure it's on black. The opacity I take down very low, and then I just start by just wiping in here where the light would hit. And you can go over it a couple of times just to make sure you've got some light coming through. I'll put a little bit on her. You've got to imagine where all the highlights are, like on the top of her head and things like where the light is actually going to hit if it's coming sideways. Go over this side of the face again. And as you can see, you can see the dark. By clicking that, you can see the dark coming back in. Now, once I've done that, I add a new layer, double click that and call this shadow, because that's going to be the shadows. I make sure it's on black. I alter the size of my brush. I still leave it on a low opacity, and it's just something that you're going to have to play around with. But I just paint in think the shadow's going to be. Now I'm going to put a new layer in, double click, and it's going to be called face shadow. It's better to name all your layers, then if you have to come back to it, you know exactly where you're going to click. And I'm going to just add a little bit of shadow here. Now, this on the face shadow looked a little bit too much, but we'll alter that in a minute. By going to the opacity over to the right, and you can drop it, higher it. That would take it out completely, and you just bring it up till you think you've got enough. You don't want to put too much shadow over the eye, but you want to make it look like she's being highlighted on this side, on the right hand side only. But again, you can add the washing machine layer, lower it, and just bring her eye back again slightly, so you can see her eye. Her eye will be bright. I like it. It's just playing around with it and what you want out of a picture. How much highlight, how much shadows, how much detail, everything. But then I add another layer, and this is because if you don't have, if you go to filters and the camera raw, I work a lot in camera raw. If you don't have camera raw and you're just working on elements or something like that, then this is how I put in a vignette. So you make your brush large, make sure it's on black, on low, again on a new layer. Oh, sorry, double click it, and I'll put V for vignette. You just, and all you do is just push it in. Obviously not too much on the right side. Just take some of that out a little bit there. Now, if I wanted to add sharpness, I would go back to the image 2, find my sharpen tool here, and just go over the eyes slightly, the crease of the mouth, not all the mouth, just the crease in the lips. Large, make my brush a bit larger, and just go over slightly some of the hair to highlight. Now, I'm not going to say what strength I'm using, and this is 21, but obviously it all depends on your picture and what you're doing. So just, just want to highlight her there, sharpen her, sorry, where the highlights are, and that would be it. If I wanted to come back and work on the image and I wasn't sure about it, then I would go to File, Save As, and it would come up Photoshop, and I would save as a copy. Always save as a copy. I'll just cancel that because I'm not. And when you open it up again, If you save it as a Photoshop PDI, it will come up with all the layers. And if you click on the layer, and that's the shadow, I can actually drop the opacity slightly if I want to alter it in any way. And it's the same with all the images. You know, as long as it's on a layer, you can click on it and go back and alter it. So if you save it as a Photoshop, you do that. If you was happy with it and I was going to save it for comp work, I would just merge all the layers and that would be it. But if I undo merge, I will actually close all these down, and that's what we started with, and that's what we ended up with. So it does look like she's got more light on her face and it was taken in a darkened room. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please have a go. Feel free, just do your own thing, work on anything. It doesn't matter how many times you do it, you will always do it at different levels. So don't get fixed on, you know, like, oh, it's got to be such opacity or such a size or anything. Just go back, work on your images, enjoy working with Photoshop. And that's my final image. Thank you for watching. Bye.